Hello, my name is Kenneth Howing, and today I'm going to be demoing a little weather tracking website that I've been designing over the last couple days, or sorry, couple weeks. Um, so first things first, let me show you what this website is all about. I've done all my coding here in Visual Studio Code, and I have this extension, live server, that allows me to see my website without actually having to have it published. Here it is. So it's weather across the world right now. My current location, Rexburg, Idaho, is automatically shown on the by default, and that's because if you see up here, I've given this website geolocation access. And so if you ever pull up this website, that geolocation access will be asked, and then if you give it permission, it will show you this by default. But what I think is a cooler feature of this is this enter city feature. I can type in any city, and if there are cities throughout the world that are named the same thing. Um, and it when I first designed the app, it would default to the one that was most populated. But I was like, well, what if instead of Paris, France, like right here, I wanted to look at Paris, Texas. So I made it so that it would give you a suggestion list, and I can click on any one of these three. So I'll try Paris, Texas. And now I have the weather for Paris, Texas. And if we want to go to Paris, France, we can also do that too. And we get something else. Um, and then another feature of this website is this is just the current weather. So right now in Paris, France, it is 63 degrees with a clear sky. It has the humidity and the wind speed there as well. But if we want to see a 7-day forecast, we can click this little button here to toggle out of the current weather and into a 7-day forecast. And it shows us the weather for tomorrow through Saturday. And it gives us a little icon to show us what the weather will be and the temperature, but it doesn't give us the humidity and wind speed. I thought that might clutter it up, so I left that stuff out. Then we can also toggle back to current weather, and we can keep on doing that as much as we want. And we could do that for any city across the world. All you have to do is enter in here and fill it out. So we can do, let's try Memphis, if I can spell Memphis. There we go. Oh, it looks like there's a lot of Memphises, but we can go to Memphis, Tennessee. And so, yeah, that's essentially how this works. Where I'm getting this weather data is from openweathermap.org. I just have a little API subscription there. Um, you can get one for free if you want one there and make something like this on your own. But let me actually show you the code that's making all this work. So I'm going to click out of this. And so I have three files that make this website work. I have this HTML file here, which just gets me the structure of the web page that you saw. Let's actually open that up again so we can compare it. Um, you got the whole main body, everything in here is in this little main section right here, but that's not really what we want to focus on. The styles right here is what makes everything look pretty. Without this, everything will just look kind of bland and without any like, well, it would all be stuck to the left side of the screen by default, but this helps me to make everything look nicer. But the real star of the show, and what I want to talk about the most, is the JavaScript here, which is a much longer file, as you can see. The These are my variables to construct the to make the website work. This is essentially everything that JavaScript needs to interact with the HTML so that it can actually do things like click buttons or generate things. The first thing that you see here is the add event listener. This is how the geolocation works. Once the page opens up, it'll ask you for the geolocation, and if you have that on your browser, it will let you do that. If you don't, it will just give you a little warning or you probably won't see anything unless you inspect the web page. Like so. If you oh oops, that's wrong. If you open up inspect element, you can see the console right here. This is where the warnings would pop up if you got any. But since we got geolocation, we don't get a warning for that. And then moving on, we have this city input event listener. This listens for a user's input into the query bar, and then we'll start generating a suggestions list. Um, and then, but in order to get the cities, it actually needs to make an API call right here to get the list of cities, which it does. Most of other API calls we'll see later, they're in their own functions, but for this one, it was just easier to keep it in here. And then we have the suggestions list that gets filled in by this function down here for each city, add it to the function, and it actually will create a uh, little box, little item, li right here, and creates them. So let me just demonstrate what this does by showing you. So when I type in Paris, Texas, that little function we were looking at generates three different boxes to put in the information for the city that you're seeing. And then moving on to another function, we have we have all these API calls. So this one just fetches the location, the weather data for a location that is entered, whether it be the default or the one you type in. This is the get city name function. So this is how the geolocator actually gets the name of the city that you are in and the weather data from where you are for where you are. And then finally, this fetch forecast. There's a different link that you need to call to get the forecast. So whenever we're calling the forecast, this is a different API that's being called here. And so we needed a different function for that. And then this is the toggle forecast button. This is how I can switch between the different elements. As you can see, it's actually creating this. I was at, well, no, sorry, one more function down. This is pretty cool because it's cursive. So everything here runs 7 times to generate a different card for each day of the forecast going a week, so a week in advance. And then finally, this is just the function that displays the current weather data. So this is everything you see right up front. And yeah, so the JavaScript is really the backbone of this entire thing. Without this weather app wouldn't work at all. And yeah, that's how it works. Thank you for watching. See you in a couple of weeks.